Major General Nerdah Bomya from the Karen National Defense Organization has been working hard not only to defend the Karen people of KawThooLei against the brutal attacks from the Burma military and the Burma generals that are ordering these attacks, but he also has strong collaboration and have strong connections with not only Thai officials, but also Arakan, Shan, Kachin, Mon, all the different ethnic people that have trust in General Nerdah Bomya because of his pursuit for peace, freedom, and security and self-determination for the region there. And so he's going to share from the ground the situation that he's encountering right now and advice that he would give to the United States, Australia, United Nations, as far as what is really necessary, and if it is not taken care of quickly, it's going to be very catastrophic for innocent women, children, and others in that region.
You know, I want to urge State Department of the United States, in order to achieve our freedom in Burma, you need to work with the ethnic groups, the ethnic people who have been trying, who have been struggling for their freedom, self-determination, and democracy for so many years, and they don't get any help. So right now it is important, because when you think about reforming the country from dictatorship to democracy, you have to go to the grassroots of the people who are working for freedom and democracy. And the main groups of people are ethnic groups. You need to work with these people, connect with these people, and then try to support them. And then once they get support, because right now they can survive. They've been going on for 70 years, but they cannot defeat the enemies, because the enemies, the military dictatorships, are being supported by China and Russia. So you can, even though they can survive, but it's difficult for them to reform, difficult them to change the country, because behind the scenes, our enemies and military dictatorships are supported by other regime, other countries, superpower. So it's difficult for people of Burma to achieve their freedom, to achieve democracy, to reestablish a democratic government. So right now, we need your help. We want you to help to think about, if you think about the people of Burma who are struggling, fighting for freedom, democracy, and they're always looking up to America as a mother nation, for nations of freedom, nations of salvation for the oppressed people. So right now it is time for you to give a helping hands to them, so that they will be able to achieve their goal. Otherwise, the problems will be dragging on. The problems will prolong, because they don't have outside help. While the other side, while the other hands, the military regime getting all kinds of support from Russia, from Singapore, from other neighboring countries. That's why armed embargo also important, not to support the Burmese army. They're so brutal. They're so crucial to. They're so bad to the people. The way they torture people when they capture people, it's unbelievable. So I want, we really urge United Nations and also American government to do something about it. People are still fighting on the street with bare hands, with stones, and with the slingshot to achieve their freedom. This is unbelievable how much they're longing for freedom. So we want the U.S. government to be sympathetic and to do something about it, to think about, people who sacrifice their life for the country in order to change the country, in order to have freedom, in order to have self-determination. So don't forget about us, and think about the ethnic groups, think about the Burmese people, think about people who are fighting for democracy in Burma. People are rising up in order to fight against their rights, to fight for their rights, to fight against the regime. And also the regime, on the other hand, the ground troops, they're using ground troops and they're using air power to suppress the demonstrators. So it is very important for UN to do something about it, because it's about the civil movement in the country to change the country. So while the enemies are using jet fighters, we want, and also they're targeting everyone. They're targeting civilians, they're targeting women and children. So and they bomb the place randomly. So it is important for UN to put up something about, setting up rules and regulations and the no-fly zone in those areas, so that the civilians will be protected by this kind of regulation. Otherwise, more people will be killed by the regime, and then and also we want China and Russia to think about humanity, about how to protect the lives of children and women during armed conflicts. This is important for developed country to think about this stuff, because this is Burma right now. They're having civil war and civil movement. So we want the UN to think about no-fly zone, so that protect the lives of innocent people, to protect the lives of women and children. So it is important. Freedom is not free, and freedom is costly. Again, democracy, many people have given their lives for freedom and democracy. The same here. And people are trying so hard, working so hard, but still they have many difficulties. That's why we have to work together, try to put ourselves in the shoes while they're struggling for freedom and democracy. Think about the past history, about America, about how we country have been free, and then try to help them, because I can see, when the soldiers are shooting women and children, my heart is, broken out. I feel like why these people are so inhuman to their own people. At least if they shoot people who carrying arms, and it's kind of understandable. But these are shooting women and children, and torturing women and children, torturing celebrities. I feel like they're no different than animals, and they have no kindness. And what happened to the leadership? They're supposed to be governing the country and protecting the people. Well, right now everything is the opposite: killing the people, torturing the people, and then it's heartbreaking when you think about it. And I feel like I need. That's why I want the United States to do something about it, because if you don't do something about it, and then people will continue suffering. There would be a lot of atrocities, and there would be a lot of war crimes against humanity, and so need to be stopped right now. Stop supporting the regime. The most important, stop supporting the regime and supporting people, protesters, and activists who are fighting for freedom and democracy. It's quite a challenge to them, but we want international community to understand this stuff. It's about life. It's about life and death for them. Because if you don't act right now, it would be too late.